sheriff sets the standard of how every state should handle anti-ICE rioters. Quote, "We had a single man resist ICE agents. We sent a helicopter, a drone, a canine, and 50 law enforcement officers to surround an area, and we found that guy." Guys, I'm going to play this video for you here so you can see what he actually said. But for those of you who don't know who this is officer, or sheriff rather, Grady Judd, who is the sheriff of Polk County, Florida.
And we shot him. We shot him a lot. We shot him so much you could read the New York Times newspaper through him. And they asked me, one of the newspaper folks said, that's the first one to ask, well, we got a report that you shot him 68 times. And I go, here was a complete statement. I said, absolutely. I guess we ran out of bullets. And he laughed. He said, I'm going to write that. I said, well, write this. He'd already shot and killed a canine, shot and killed a canine deputy, shot a backup deputy, shot at 2 police officers, and pointed a gun at a SWAT team. What did he think was going to happen to him?
Now, I think that I'm correct in saying this, that he is either one of the, or if not the most liked law enforcement officers in the entire country. He's been reelected 5 times, most recently in 2024. He had 83% of the vote, which is amazing. I mean, I don't know anybody else who's running for any other public office who's garnering over 83% of the vote. And the reason he's popular is because he sort of embodies this unapologetic law and order conservatism with no PC filter. When he does his press conferences, he says what he believes. He says what is the truth. He says the reality of the situation, and he's not hiding anything behind any sort of political correct filter. He just says what he believes, and he's genuine. He's authentic. He's a genuine, sincere person, and that's what people crave. They crave that authenticity. But anyways, let's get into this video and see what he said.
We had a single man resist ICE agents and get away from them in our community. We sent a helicopter, a drone, canine, and 50 law enforcement officers to surround an area, and we found that guy who violently resisted ICE, and we locked him up in jail where he should have been. If you allow anarchists and criminals to run wild in your community, people will die. People will be shot. Now let me say this. For other law enforcement leaders across this state and nation, you need to be standing up saying the same exact thing that I am. Because when you have a breakdown of the rule of law, when you allow anarchists, criminals to take over the streets and attack law enforcement officers and then not send them help, that's a slippery slope, a real slippery slope.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty basic with the situation in Minneapolis. What we're seeing is anti-ICE protesters who, by all accounts, they're not actually protesters. They're not going there with just signs and flags in opposition to some policy in the way that a traditional protester might be. But that's how the mainstream media is trying to frame it. But in reality, these people are highly coordinated, highly planned. Their factions of their organization are literally calling for the outright murder of ICE agents on their social media accounts, and calling their cohorts to engage in violent acts against ICE officers. And what do you think is going to happen when you resist a law enforcement officer? And this is, I never addressed the Alex Preddy situation. I haven't. I don't know if I'm going to, but basically, it's a very unfortunate event that happened. But I don't have a lot of sympathy for him. He was carrying a 9mm, and he started resisting arrest. And moments before, he had shoved an officer. He had shoved a lady. And if he had simply made the decision okay, I'm going to let them arrest me. And realistically, he would have been let out of jail a day or 2 days later, probably with a minor charge for, maybe the officers wouldn't have even filed the charge against him. But the point is, when you resist arrest and you're violent directly with an officer and you're carrying a 9mm handgun, what do you think is going to happen? Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video in the comment section. Let me know what you think of Grady Judd and his approach to handling these alleged protesters.